everyone, I'm Olga Villaverdi.
And I'm Amber Milt. Welcome to The Balancing Act.
Today, our Broadway Across America series concludes with the Lincoln Center Theater production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I. It's an East meets West musical extravaganza.
We'll introduce you to the team who'll be taking this Tony Award-winning revival on the road.
And behind the mystery, the role of personalized medicine.
Plus, Chef Ralph is in the house, and it all starts right now.
Broadway Balances America, brought to you by Broadway Across America, bringing the best of Broadway to a city near you.
Time now for another installment of Broadway Balances America, our series that takes you behind the scenes of some of the most beloved Broadway musicals as they travel across the country and into your local theaters.
The Tony Award-winning revival, Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I, tells the story of a schoolteacher who travels from England to Siam to serve as governess to the king's many children. East meets West as their worlds collide in this stunning new production. From screen to stage, this Rodgers and Hammerstein classic has been beautifully reimagined and based on the 1944 novel Anna and the King of Siam by Margaret Landon. It carries us away to a foreign land full of dazzling song and dance and features strong female characters who realize the possibility of change.
And it really is this kind of strange mid-19th century story about a king in the middle of a kingdom which is in transition. It's changing from a more traditional culture to a modern culture. He's besieged by outsiders, the English, the French, the whoever, trying to kind of take over his country. And he feels he has to modernize his country, so he hires the school teacher to teach all the children English and educate them. And so you have the school teacher from England meeting the great King of Siam, and you begin a story between the two of them.
Getting to know you, and what a story it is. Broadway star Laura Michelle Kelly plays Anna, the strong-willed schoolteacher.
So Anna leaves her home to come to this crazy, conflict-ridden country to change the lives of all these people. And so she's coming at it with a very strong mind of she knows what she wants and what she's doing and what she wants to say. And Lady Chiang has her own opinions herself about how things should be run in opposite mind to Anna. She's very strong, and I love that. You know, it's celebrating two powerful female roles, and her support for the king in one way is equally as important, but very different from Anna's.
He will not always stay. Joan Almadia plays the king's head wife, Lady Tiang.
I believe Lady Tiang. She's a puppet master, not in a manipulative way. She has a system. She works systematically. Her moves are calculated. And also, if it was an orchestra, she's the conductor, and she knows when something is off in the palace, and she fixes it, and she knows when and how to deal with Mrs. Anna, because the king likes to be challenged, and Mrs. Anna challenges the king. And because of that, it makes the king a better person.
Oh, sometimes I think that people are going mad.
And the king, in the middle of these dynamic ladies, is played by Jose Lana.
The biggest themes in the show is empathy. You know, how can you bridge a gap is by maybe putting yourself in the shoes of the person that you feel like you have so much in conflict with. But I think once Mrs. Anna and the king, and even Lady Tiang as well, they are able to form these friendships because they see the other side, and maybe they can empathize with them. That's where those friendships are formed, and that we all really want the same thing. You know, we all want safety, we all want love, we all want community, and I think that's where the friendship really becomes strengthened in the story.
Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune, so no one will.
The story and show in this grand new production are truly opulent. This was such a big production in New York. Are you bringing the same excitement on the road?
I think that the quality of it in a more intimate surrounding actually makes it feel more luxurious and richer than it did in New York. This is a one of the general sets. It all takes place basically within the surround of the royal palace of Siam. The palace was actually surrounded by a white wall with these pickets on the top of it. So we decided that with all of the gold, it was nice to have the purity of the white wall at the back that's always there.
As for the Tony Award-winning costumes,
this is one of the largest shows I've ever worked on. There are over 350 costumes in the show, and they're all custom-made, specifically built for the actor. There's silks and satins and linen and beading, and it's huge. And what people, when they come to see The King and I, they expect a certain production value. Anna has 7 big lavish dresses. The King has 7 or 8 different looks designed by Tony Award winner Catherine Zuber, who won her 6th Tony for this production. It's a very royal look, and when the King first enters, he starts from the top of the stage and walks up, and all you see is this beautiful, beautiful robe reflecting. This is the iconic ball gown for Anna when she goes to dance with the King. And it is made of 25 yards of silk satin just in the skirt alone. The bodice itself is built as a corset, and it's on top of a corset. Then each of the beaded fringe are all hand done. The whole dress weighs about 40 pounds. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 layers that go into the dress.
Etc., and so forth.
just as there are many layers to the story.
It's funny, you know, from the first scene when she comes in and when we meet, the King is thrown off balance because he's not used to a woman kind of standing up to him the way that she does. And for the rest of the show, it becomes this kind of challenging kind of balance of power. She constantly proves her intelligence to him and that she has the ability to help him if he allows her. And I think through that they form this friendship. And there's a little flirtation involved in there too. And I think the flirtation and the possibilities of exchanging ideas and having a little fun while they're doing it.
Is there a favorite moment in the play? Is there a favorite song that you have?
I mean, Shall We Dance is probably ingrained in my mind from the very first moment I ever watched it in the movies when I was growing up. To have that moment on stage is amazing. When the King and Anna first meet accidentally, they collide. It's the first time they've ever had an intimacy or even been alone to connect like that to something and that's as close as they get to a kiss. It's powerful. It's a powerful moment, and it's one of my favorites.
It's really about the possibility of change. You know, the King learns from her and she learns from the King, and it's a very sophisticated relationship between the two of them. And
the North American tour of Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I is coming soon to a theater near you. Check out Broadway Across America, Broadway Balances America, or you can always go to our website, thebalancingact.com, for all the show information, tour dates, and more.
Many of us take prescription drugs, and oftentimes we're hit with side effects, adverse reactions, some more severe than others. And we can end up taking even more drugs to counteract those effects. But imagine if we could tailor which medicine works best for us.
Revolutionary.
That's how Dr. Moni Singleton, who practices family medicine, describes the relatively new technology, personalized medicine, also known as designer medicine and precision medicine.
It's the latest technology that is able to design treatments, whether they are drug treatments or medical device treatments, based upon a person's DNA.
Yes, you heard him right. Medicine based on your own DNA, your genetic makeup. Our age, lifestyle, and health all impact how we respond to medications, but so do our genes.
With personalized medicine, looking at the DNA, we specifically focus on looking at the variations of the DNA, what has happened with those genes. The more likelihood of contracting a chronic disease is a result of having multiple genetic variations.
We're talking customized healthcare. Obviously, we're all different, and doctors say those very differences, individual genetic variations, greatly impact our response to therapeutic drugs.
We are beginning to focus more on the genetics because we're seeing that's what's causing the diseases, and that's important in metabolizing the drugs that we are prescribing.
Dr. Singleton is founder, president, and CEO of the Singleton Health Center in Orangeburg, South Carolina. The doctor, who has over 30 years of experience in providing health care in rural areas, partnered with Atlanta-based Genomix Laboratories to provide the required test. He says roughly 20 to 25% of his patients are now on personalized medicine.
I started coming here because I wasn't feeling right. I was feeling lethargic, no energy.
Patients like 32-year-old Jonathan Akis, the father of a 5-year-old daughter and sales rep for a major beer distributor, has always been outgoing.
I like weightlifting. We go hiking, anything outdoors I love. Very involved in the community and the church. I help them with youth ministries.
But Jonathan's fun had diminished, and he knew something was wrong.
Dr. Singleton, how you doing?
Dr. Singleton diagnosed him with depression. Using the trial and error method, the doctor gave him samples to try, drugs that generally are more effective and with fewer side effects. And then he wrote a prescription for Jonathan.
I started out with a medication that was working phenomenal, and then after about 4 or 5 months, the insurance company decided not to pay for it anymore. So he started me on a generic. Well, that generic was not right for me because I fell right back into depression.
He became depressed very, very rapidly.
And that's when Dr. Singleton told Jonathan about personalized medicine, and Jonathan took a test that looks at his DNA.
We did the test. Sure enough, the medication, that generic medication that I put him on, he did not metabolize it appropriately. He was a rapid metabolizer, so it didn't stay in his system.
Then it gave a list of appropriate medications, and we got on one of those generics, and then within 2 months I was back to normal.
One of the things that we have found through research that specifically looks at depression is the more medications a person has tried for the treatment of the depression, the less the effectiveness is. So it's very, very important that we find out the right drug at the right time.
Another buzzword you'll hear in this field is pharmacogenetics, which is a subcategory of precision or personalized medicine.
Pharma, looking at the science of the drug, and genetics, looking at the study of a person's genes and how the genes influence the response that an individual gets from the medication.
Pharmacogenetics tests are most commonly used for drugs used in cardiology, depression, and/or mental illness, and pain management.
What we have here in America now is an explosion of addiction to pain pills, which are called opioids, or in the past called opiates. And I think that we're seeing that explosion, number one, because they're more available, but number two, because they're being prescribed the wrong medications.
And pharmacogenetics tests are especially helpful if you have failed to respond to multiple medications. Undergoing the test itself is pretty simple. While in your doctor's office, a nurse practitioner swabs the inside of your mouth and then sends it to the Genomix lab. The doctor has the results in about 5 to 10 days.
We can see if the medications that the patient is on are the correct medications. And if not, we can, at that point in time, see what would be the appropriate medication.
Dr. Singleton says that some of the common medicines, either over-the-counter or prescribed medication, simply don't work for everyone.
As an example, when we look at the medications that are prescribed for cardiac arrhythmias, of depression, medications that are for the treatment of asthma, any one particular drug does not work in 60% of the people that are taking them. When we look at, let's say, medications for migraine, when we look for medications for osteoporosis, when we look for medications for arthritis, 50% of the time, that particular drug is not working the way that we think that it should work. Another example that is very, very frightening is cancer drugs and drugs for Alzheimer's disease. They don't work 70% of the time the way that we think they should. Personalized medicine is going to eliminate having to take a drug to counteract the side effects of another drug, because we are going to find out the right drug at the right dose and put you on that medication to start with. And so that is going to really, really impact the cost of care. It's going to reduce pain and suffering. It's going to decrease inefficiencies in the system.
And the doctor isn't alone in his enthusiasm. Statistics show the field is expanding. And just last year, the National Institutes of Health awarded $55 million to help towards a landmark study on the subject.
We're going to, over time, find that this technology is going to help to solve lots of problems with our chronic diseases. And I think that just from the standpoint of being able to eliminate diseases, I think we are going to be able to use this technology and do the same kinds of things with eradication of chronic diseases that we did with smallpox. I'm very excited about it.
Dr. Singleton encourages you to ask your doctor about personalized medicine. And in the meantime, you can learn more at alphagenomics.com or our website, thebalancingact.com.
Are you ready to enhance the flavor of some of your dishes? I've got just the ingredient, Marukan rice vinegar. Hey, welcome to my kitchen. This is Quick Bites with me, Chef Ralph Pagano. Now, right here, I've got all the ingredients for a perfect stir fry in my hand. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to my wok. And I'm gonna start it off with the three things that you need for any good stir fry. A little bit of ginger, a little bit of garlics, and a little bit of scallion, some green onion. We're gonna get those cooking a little bit. Now let me tell you a little secret about Marukan rice vinegar. 360 years they've been making this rice vinegar. I can tell you as a professional chef, this has been in my kitchen for as long as I can remember. Now a lot of people, when you taste something, you're gonna eat it, right? You're gonna say, this is missing something, it needs something. Sometimes you just add salt. The truth of the matter is, you wanna add a little bit of acid, because acid's bright and it wakes up all the flavors of all the food. And this Marukan rice vinegar is absolutely the best. Whether you choose the genuine brew, whether you choose the seasoned gourmet, some of the organic line, it is gonna be an ingredient that you use time and time again. And all the people you're cooking for is gonna say, when did you start to cook so good? When did you become such a great cook? Shh, don't tell them. It's all in the rice vinegar. Ginger, scallion, garlic happening in the pan right now. To this, the usual suspects get added. I've got green pepper, I've got red peppers, some carrots, white onions. And I'm gonna add to it a little bit of my genuine brewed rice vinegar. As soon as it hits the pan, you can smell that vinegar really wake up the peppers and the onions. Because listen, let's face it, peppers are boring, carrots are boring, but when you add vinegar to them, you become the most exciting person in the room. Spin it around, add a little bit of soy sauce, some sesame oil, a little bit of mirin. It's like sweetened rice wine. Now check it out, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a hint. Stop by the grocery store on the way home. Buy yourself one of those cooked chickens that are available. Add the chicken to the party, and let me show you what I have made today. I've got the seasoned gourmet Marukan rice vinegar right here. Our signature Chinese chicken salad. It is absolutely delicious. I've got my cilantro lime dressing over here. It is a perfect complement to it. And if organic is what you're talking about, Marukan's got it. On my left, I've got the organic rice vinegar as well as the organic seasoned rice vinegar. Both of them are fantastic. You can use them all your dishes. And if you think this dish was easy, it really is. And finding Marukan rice vinegar is also easy too. Just go to your supermarket, go down the vinegar aisle, you're gonna find it. If not, stop into the Asian food store in your neighborhood and become familiar with Marukan rice vinegar. Now this, I can't wait for. I'm gonna add a little bit of toasted sesame seeds to the top. I got some white rice over here. I got the chicken cooking. This is great. To find out more information about these recipes, go to Marukan-USA.com. That's MARUKAN-USA.com. Or visit our website, thebalancingact.com. And don't forget to share your favorite Marukan recipe with us. We can't wait to see. Remember, this has been a quick bite. That was good, but chew slowly.
That's our show for today. You know, The King and I, it looks like a wonderful show.
Oh, it's just excellent, beautiful sets.
Love it.
Remember, you guys, you can head to our Facebook page and our website, and of course, you can follow us on Twitter because we've got lots more there.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.